All right, guys, got another one here from ArmLabz, the Forearm Roller 2.0. Comes in a nice packaging. It's a high-tech piece of equipment. Storm can talk about the difference. Obviously, as arm wrestlers and just general strength people, we all have seen this right here, which we use in our high school weight room with our kids, which is a PVC pipe and a rope. So there are some variations that make this a little bit more superior to that, and there's also a couple negatives about it. So I'll let Storm kind of take it over. The only other thing about this, definitely designed for travel and convenience. It does come with a big water bottle, like a half-gallon water bottle, to give you about 6 to 8 pounds of resistance. You just hook the water bottle up to that in case, if you're traveling, or if you have it in your gym bag. That way you don't kind of carry around 3 weeks. But Storm, go ahead, take it over.
So this is the second time I'm getting to utilize this. The first time was a couple weeks ago with Paul. So I am actually a huge fan of using the old PVC style for recovery. I don't use it for strength building, but I do use it for getting blood flow to certain areas of the forearm. With this, there's a few things that set it apart from this, and there's a few differences of things that I would say I don't like. So last time we were doing a review on this, Paul was getting into, making a little lunch bet with me, and we were trying to push it to see how much weight it could possibly do. I was up to 45 pounds, and it did happen to give out. Paul talked to the manufacturer a little bit more, and they did say that 25 pounds is where the 2.0 maxes out at, which in reality, that was just me and Paul goofing off. I don't really ever do anything above 25 pounds for strength training. I use this as more of a recovery tool. The nice thing about this is, though, when you go to utilize this, it has an auto release rather than having to roll it all the way down. And if you are focusing on recovery, actually, I'll demonstrate that. These two buttons here, you have an auto release, and it'll release it down. Now, as you see, it's there's gears in there, and you can roll it up. Now let's say that I'm just trying to work on one arm specifically. I can roll it all the way up and down, utilizing just one arm, which is nice. You don't get that with PVC. With this, obviously, you could just isolate on one arm. Like I said, you have this, that'll automatically release it all the way down. Overall, I think it's a good tool for recovery. Obviously, like I said, there is the weight cap on in 2.0. But I did hear that they are making a 3.0 that'll allow you to use heavier weights. I don't know if there's anything else that you want to go over on it.
Yeah, I think the construction is metal and plastic in here, good rubber handles, but if you notice that diameter for arm wrestling, even with the PVC pipe, we're usually using fat grips. First thing I told them, for improvements or next version is let's widen these things out and let's get our fingers a little bit more involved. The other thing is something a little bit more durable in here, because the nature of the beast is regardless if you say 25 pounds is the max, there are going to be people who want to do 30 pounds, 40 pounds. We're all meatheads, so we want to test things out. Let's go ahead and max. We like to max out on things. So ideally, you want to make your product pretty much break-proof with what a human being can do. So they're definitely going to ramp up the construction overall. My pros for it are simple. It's lightweight, durable, it's travel ready, right? So for me, I have a lot of issue with tennis elbow. I do so much wrist flexion, and I've had to get PRP injections in the outside of my elbow because I've created an imbalance where everything is just so much in this direction that the outside tendon on the lateral epicondyle will flare up. So for me, the reverse motion for rehab is super important. And you're able to get a ton of volume, and you're able to not lose your pump because you can drop and release really quickly. So that's the upside. The other thing is, like I said, great travel tool. You can pack it along in your luggage. It weighs essentially nothing. So if you're if you have to travel for work or something like that, you just want to get a quick forearm pump or stay up on your arm wrestling training, this is a good way to compensate.
Yeah, so I look forward to seeing what the 3.0 is and how that comes out. But overall, I do think it's convenient. Being able to isolate one arm is the big advantage over the PVC, and just that auto release function just to keep the tempo and the volume up during your exercises.
Yeah, if you're interested, you can look them up at ArmLabz on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everything. info@armlabs.com. Again, my final review is definitely useful. I would recommend it really only for lightweight and recovery type workout, rehab type workout. Not something you really want to, if you're going to go heavy, stick to the PVC, save a little bit of money. But if you're looking for that convenient travel tool, mainly for rehab, it's a solid piece.
Yep, and their customer service is great. They were really good with working with us during the whole process. So I will give that to them through their companies. Yeah, customer service is great.
All right, that's about it. We'll leave some info in the description. Thanks again.